Hello everyone, welcome to JCE Connect. So in this class we'll study about the specifications and construction of bituminous macadam layer. So now we'll start with specifications and construction of bituminous macadam layer. So basically the bituminous macadam, so that means a pavement which is constructed by spreading two or more layers of the crushed stone on a suitable base and pouring a bituminous binder on each, right? So here after the subgrade we can pour two or more different layers which is made by the crushed stone on every layer we can place the bituminous binder. So like that we can prepare the different layers in this bituminous macadam layer. Okay, and here the specifications of materials. So here materials required to construct this bituminous macadam layer. Okay, the grades of the bitumen which is used, that is 30 by 40, 60 by 70 and 80 by 100. So these are the different grades of the bitumen. So we have already conducted the test on bitumen, that is the penetration test, and we got the penetration value there. So it depends upon the penetration value, this this grades of the bitumen will get decides. So we need to select the materials such that those grades it should be having, the bituminous grade it should be having 30 by 40, 60 by 70 or 80 by 100. In among these three, any grades it should get consists depends upon the requirement. And here road tar RT4, so this is a type of bitumen. So here RT4 which is generally used for pre-mixing tar macadam in the base course, and even we can use a cutback and emulsions. So in the module 3 we have studied what is cutback and what is emulsion, so that one also we can be used in this part. And binder content which is having 3 to 4.5% by the weight of mix which is used. They have given the content for this binder, that is up to 3 to 4.5% by weight of mix we can be used as the binder quantity. And here the aggregates it should consisting of the following specifications, that is Los Angeles abrasion value it should be maximum 50%, and aggregate impact value maximum it is 30%, and again flakiness index maximum at 15%, and stripping at 40 degrees Celsius maximum 25%. Here stripping at 40 degrees Celsius in the sense, stripping in the sense the separating out those materials from the binding. So maximum it should be 25% as the limit they have given for the stripping test, especially for the bitumen. And here for binder course the abrasion and impact value are 40% and 30% respectively. Okay, so for aggregates that Los Angeles abrasion value is different, and even for binder course that abrasion value is it will get different. So for binder course the abrasion value they have given maximum for 40%, and impact value maximum they have given for 30%. And here the grading for 75 compacted thickness for base course as well as the binder course. So here you can see at the top, so base course consisting of first two grades, that is grading 1 and grading 2, and third one base or binder course, right? And here they have given the percentage of passing the sieve size. So here also we should conduct the sieve analysis test, and then at last we'll come to know the percentage of the passing materials by the weight of material, right? So here again we need to choose, select the sieve sizes from 63 to 50, 40, 25, 20, 12.5, 10, 4.75, and then 2.36 and then 75 micron. So after using this, the grade 1 consisting of 100% for 63 size, and for 40 it is 35 to 70, and for 20 it is 0 to 15. Like that they have given the specifications even for grading 2 and even grading 3. So whatever the materials we are going to use as the aggregates, so it should confirm the standard table. So depends upon that we will decide whether these aggregate samples belongs to grade 1, grade 2 or grade 3. Okay, so after conducting this test we will cross check those results with the standard tables, and then we will decide our aggregates are belongs to which grade. Okay, and even the binder content they have given. For grading 1 you can use 3 to 4.5%, and even for grading 2 and grading 3 also, which is same. So that is the percentage of binder content used for such grading of aggregates. And grading for 50 compacted thickness for the base course and binder, so there it stands for 75, right? So here you can see the 75 compacted thickness, I mean the layers there, I mean layer thickness. But here the grading for 50 compacted thickness for base course and binder. So here also the standard table is there. So the aggregates again we need to start from 50 ISF till 75 micron, right? So again the aggregate it should satisfy this grading table. And here the quantity of the aggregates which are required for 10 meter square of bending materials, so that are 0.6 to 0.75 meter cube and 0.9 to 1 meter cube respectively. Okay, and for 50 and 75 compacted thickness, so they have given the conditions here. So how much quantity of the aggregates are required for 10 meter square of the area of bending material, right? So that are 0.6 to 0.7 meter cube and 0.9 to 1 meter cube respectively for 50 and 75 compacted thickness. So that is the conditions for 75 and 50 compacted thickness of these materials. And then the construction procedure. So preparations of the existing layer. So if we are constructing this particular bituminous macadam layer on the existing layer, so first we need to prepare that existing layer by chipping it off, and then we need to clean that properly, and then we need to level that level that as per the required thickness. Okay, so the existing layer is properly profiled, even, and then cleaned. So now after cleaning that, the tack coat or prime coat applications have been done on those layers. So here you can see how exactly they are going to do the tack coat on this already existing layer. Okay, and for this the tack coat is applied of a thin layer of the bitumen binder using sprayer, or else even you can use that one by pouring can. So here you can see the diagram, that is pouring vehicle of this tack coat. Okay, and here in this part you can see, so it is going to be spread those tack coat by using this sprayer machines, so such that already on existing layer this bitumen tack coat has to be provided there. Okay, and now pre-mix preparation. Okay, so now we need to prepare the mix which is required to lay on those prime coat or tack coat. Okay, so here the bitumen binder and aggregates which are separately heated and then placed in the mixer and is mixed till a homogeneous mixture is formed and carried to a site by transporter or wheelbarrow. First, what we are going to take here, we are going to take the major material such as bitumen that acts as the binding material, as well as the aggregates, right? So both we are heating separately, so not togetherly, both we are heating that one separately in a separate heating plant. So after heating those materials at a certain temperature, we are going to mix that one in a particular batch plant, right? So that time, after mixing that one thoroughly, we are going to shift that one from manufactured plant to the required locations. Okay, and here we'll see how exactly they are going to manufacture this premix which is required for bituminous macadam. So this video courtesy which is belongs to Atlas Technologies Private Limited. So here you can see how exactly they are going to manufacture the asphalt, in the sense it requires coarse aggregate as well as the bitumen, so that togetherly we can call it as asphalt. So this is a mixing plant of the bituminous mix, so which is having aggregate as well as the bitumen. So now cold aggregate feeder, I mean which is with a normal temperature. Okay, so these are the aggregates now. So they are taking as per the proportions. So they are passing that one from this belt conveyor system. So as per the required grading sizes, this quantity of the aggregates are depends. So different upon the different hoopers, the quantity of the aggregates are going to be released from the batch plant, and then the same thing which is used in the mixing of bituminous mix. So this is drying drum. So if any moisture contents are present in the aggregates, it is going to be dried there, because if anything moisture content is present in the aggregate samples, so that time it won't get properly mixed or bind with the bituminous material. So it has to be dried off without any moisture content. So this is the drying process of these aggregates. It is going to be dried at a certain temperature such that all the moisture contents has to be removed. And pollution control unit, so if that after the heating certain heat it is going to be getting generated, that one they can be transferred that one from the exhaust valves. So that whatever the generated air or heat, it is going to be transferred that one through exhaust fan. Now that whatever the collected sample is there, I mean those waste or dust, it is going to be passed through this exhaust valve. Now the dust hopper, so whatever the dust collected from those aggregates after the heating process, so that one they are going to pass through this shown batching plant. So that one it is going to be stored in a particular drum, and then it is going to be dumped at a required location. So you can see the orange mark there, so that dust is going to be passed from that different valves, because no dust has been allowed to act with this bitumen, because if the dust is there, so we can't achieve the proper bonding system between the aggregate as well as the bitumen. So this is the hot elevator, so where exactly we require the materials to heat up. So these are the particles, we are removing it off. So these are the required aggregate for the construction now. Now vibrating screen. So here hot bin and aggregates weighing hopper. So here the actual amount of the quantity of the aggregates are to be weighed, and here as per the grading sieve sizes it is going to be decided. So here through the vibrating machine, so for a particular sieve size how much quantity of the aggregates are placed, right? So depends upon that we'll decide which type of the grading which is belongs to these aggregates, right? So some stands in one sieve, some stands in other sieves, so that is depends upon the size of the aggregate, right? So then it is going to be separate out. You can see here three different parts of the hoopers, I mean the chambers they have provided, where exactly the different quantity of the aggregates have been stored. So even we require filler materials such as sand or dust particle there. Now as per the required quantity we are going to consider the different grades of the aggregates as well as this total quantity of the materials. Now entire thing which is going to be passed to the next chamber, here bitumen and dust weighing system. So here material is going to be stored, that is bitumen. Now this can be mixed in pug mill. Okay, so this is a mixer. So here you can add all the materials which is used in the bituminous mix, that is the different aggregates as well as this hot bitumen. Initially they are going to dry that, and here you can see the color coating, the variations of the color in the aggregate. So directly it is going to be turned black. So it's nothing but what? So all the surface of the aggregates which should bind with those bituminous materials. So like that we should mix that one thoroughly, such that the all the surface of the aggregate should be attached by this bituminous material. Now this hot mixed bituminous mix has to be placed in the storage silo, right? So through that storage silo it is going to be transferred to the transferring vehicle, such as the trucks and all. So the same thing we can use in the next part of the construction. So this is how exactly they are going to manufacture this bituminous mix. Hope you have understood the procedure of this preparation of the mix. Okay, the same vehicle which is used, which can be used in the transferring of that material to the required location. So we should carry those materials from the mixing plant to the required location. Okay, and now the placing of those mix. Okay, so here paving mixer is placed in a desired location and is spread with the rakes to predetermined thickness. So we have designed the standard thickness of this layer, and as per that thickness, by using the rakes we can spread the materials. Okay, the camber profile is checked with a best template. So here how much thickness we want to provide, so depends upon that by using the rakers. So these are the rakers, that person what they are holding. So by using that they are going to level that thickness as per the design. Okay, so later it has been spreaded uniformly with a standard thickness. Okay, you can see here, so how exactly they are going to be spread those bituminous mix on prime coat or tack coat. And after placement the rolling part has to be done. So here rolling is done using a tandem roller. So for tandem roller, which is used for a particular compaction part where exactly we need a high profile of the high degree of compaction. So here rolling is commenced from edges of the pavement. So here the rolling, whatever they have used the rollers here, so that rolling which is commenced from the edge of the pavement to center, and the finished surface should not show the separate lines of the markings within these layers. Okay, and here the finished surface, it should not show the separate lines of markings, and the roller wheels are kept damp. So here the reason to keep it as a damp in the sense, so that rollers, it should not attach with those bituminous materials to those iron layers. Okay, and here the variation of 6 mm over 3 meter length which is allowed in the cross section profile, and the number of undulations which is exceeding 10 mm, that should not be less than 30 in 300 meter length of the pavement. So that is the standard specification they have given. So the number of undulations which are exceeding 10 mm, right? So for example, at point A it is going to be with a 0, and at point B it is with again 30, and if it is in a point C again it is a 0. So that forms an proper undulation, right? So that time the number of undulations which is exceeding this 10 mm, that should not be less than 30 in 300 meter length. So the same thing when we have compared with the 300 meter of length, so that undulations it should not be less than 30. Okay, so like that we can start these compactions with a uniform thickness. And next layer, that is specifications and construction of dense bituminous macadam layer. So here the name only indicates that the dense bituminous macadam. So dense in the sense the thickness will get vary compared to the bituminous macadam. So we'll start with the specification of these materials. So here the bitumen grade with a S65 or A65, that is a different coding word of the bitumen. So it stands for either 60 by 70 or 80 by 100. So that is the penetration value. So that grade of the aggregates we can be used in the dense bituminous macadam. And here the coarse aggregates, it should follow the standard limitations, that is for Los Angeles abrasion value maximum 40% is allowed, and the aggregate impact value maximum 30%, and for flakiness and elongation maximum 30%, and stripping the minimum retained content we need to achieve, and loss with sodium sulfate, that is 12% maximum, and water absorption it should not be more than 2%. Okay, and here with respect to the fine aggregates, it should be fraction passing 2.36 mm sieve and retained on 75 micron sieve. Okay, and here we are going to use the filler material, that is start from 600 micron to 75 micron. So here after doing the sieve analysis of these fillers, the percentage by weight it should be carrying in a given range, that is for 600 micron it is 100%, and for 300 micron it is 95 to 100, and for 75 micron it is 85 to 100. So this particular filler materials it should achieve this percentage by weight. Okay, and then the aggregate gradation. So here aggregate gradation, the ISU starts from 37.5 mm to 26.5, followed by 13.2 mm, 4.75, 2.36, 300 micron, and 75 micron. So here we can see the percentage by weight. So for 37.5 mm it is 100 mm by percentage by weight, and for 26.5 mm it is 90 to 100, and for 13.2 mm it is 56 to 80, and 4.75 mm it is 29 to 59, and then 2.36 300 microns, 75 microns it stands for 19 to 45, 5 to 17, and 1 to 7 respectively, right? So like that whatever the aggregates we are using in this construction, right, so it should follow up this particular gradation table. And now the requirement of mix. So here we are having certain mix proportions based upon the stability of the bitumen. So if the stability of the bitumen is more, then we can use it in a less content, so that that particular quantity of the bitumen can be achieved certain strength as well as the binding property for the aggregates. And for Marshall stability it should be 820 kg, and Marshall flow it is 2 to 4, and percentage of air voids they have given it is 3 to 5, and VMA and VFB it is 10% to 12%, and 65 to 75, and binder content not less than 4%. So here whatever the data they have given, so that is stand for Marshall stability test. So here the Marshall stability test, so which is a popular and proven method to measure that the load and flow rate of the asphalt specimen. So here as we have discussed about the bituminous mix that is made by the different types of the aggregates as well as the bitumen binder. So we have seen in the last video clip. So after getting that particular bituminous mix, how exactly it is going to be used in the road constructions, and which are the main properties of that prepared specimen, I mean the prepared bituminous mix. So that test we are going to conduct on those bituminous mix. So the same test we can call it as Marshall stability test. So here we are going to fill those bituminous mix in a particular modes, and then using manual or automated Marshall compactors, right? So later, and which is conditioned in a water bath at the specified temperature. So here we are going to measure the load and the flow rate of the asphalt specimen, which are beginning with the compaction into a different modes. Okay, the same as in the CBR test, how exactly we are going to measure the load as well as the penetration, the same similar procedure here also we are going to follow. And after that test we are getting this, we have to get this much of results. Okay, the Marshall stability, it should be 820 kg, and then Marshall flow 2 to 4, and then air voids it is 3 to 5%, and VMA and VFB, that is 12 to 10 to 12%, and 65 to 75%. So here VMA, which is stand for, that is voids in mineral aggregate, right? So it should be stand from VMA, which is nothing but it is the space between the rocks, and that can be filled with the asphalt, right? So here the space filled with the asphalt, which is known as VFA, that is voids filled with the asphalts. And then the VFB, right? So here VFB is the voids in the mineral aggregate, that framework filled with the bitumen binder, and it can also be described as the percent of the volume of the VMA, that voids in mineral aggregates, and it also can be described as the percent of the volume that of VMA that has been filled with bitumen. And here VFB is inversely related to air voids, and hence as air voids decreases, the VFB also increases. Okay, so this is vice versa. So if the VFB is, which is inversely proportional to the air voids, so that as the air voids goes on decreasing, the VFB also it goes on increasing. Okay, so this is what the dense bituminous macadam part. And here you can see the preparation construction procedure. Okay, so first we need to prepare the base. So here, so the preparation of the base, it includes the following procedures. Okay, so here the surface that should be swept clean using mechanical broom, and which is prepared to uniform grade. So here you can see the mechanical brooming machine. So by using this, the surface has to be cleaned without any particular dust. And here the prime coat may be used, and tag coats, prime coats to be may be used, and the tag coats are applied over base. Here preparation of the mix, which is same as the bituminous macadam as discussed earlier. So we have seen the different procedure part, right? How exactly they are going to prepare the bituminous mix there, right? And here you have found two different words, that is tag coat and prime coat. Okay, so this is the layer wise arrangement of a flexible pavement. So start with the compacted subgrade, sub base course, binder course, and on top that is surface course. So here the tag coat, which can be applied on base course. Okay, so here you can see this prime coat which comes on this particular layer, so that is between binder course as well as the base course. And similarly this tag coat, right? So this tag coat which is comes in between the two layers, that is surface course and then the binder course. Okay, so here we are applying the two different coats, that is the prime coat and tag coat. So that prime coat which comes between the binder course as well as the base course, it's nothing but what, after the base course we need to place this prime coat, and then we'll place the binder course, and after the binder course we'll place the tag coat, and then we'll place the surface course, and on top of that the seat coat. It's like a king, right? So on top of this, the sealing coat will come, such that that is the finishing part of this flexible pavement. Okay, and now here you can see how exactly they are going to place this prime coat, which is applied on base course here, right? And as well as the tag coat which is applied on binder course. So on top of this binder course, again one more layer has to come. Okay, now spreading. Okay, So after the preparation of that bituminous mix, now we need to spread that one at a regular intervals with a regular, equal thickness with a uniform in its thickness. Okay, and it is spread by the self-propelled paver, right? So here you can see this, right? So here you can see the different pavers here, right? So they are self-propelled pavers, right? And here that bituminous mix, it is spread by this self-propelled paver, and for spreading, tamping and finishing the mix to the subgrade lines. Okay, and here by using these machines, the bitumen has to be laid on the existing surface, and then it is going to be spread that bituminous mix in a equal width as well as equal uniform thickness. And in restricted areas and the narrow widths, that manual laying of the mix or mechanical pavers are used, right? So here in some cases we can't use this self-propelled paver in the congested area, so in that cases we can use that manual laying of mix or mechanical pavers. And here one more condition, the temperature is 120 degrees Celsius to 160 degrees Celsius at the time of laying. So here that mix temperature, so that is made up of the different aggregates as well as the binding material. That mix, it should be 120 degrees Celsius to 160 degree Celsius at the time of laying. So that only that can be well compacted on that existing layer. And then here rolling system, the compaction can be done after the spreading of those bituminous mix. So it is compacted initially by smooth wheel roller. So here you can get three different stages, that is first one is initial compaction, right? And second one is intermediate compaction, and third one is okay, first one initial compaction, intermediate compaction, and then finishing compaction. So here this compaction system, the compaction part, it can be done by using different rollers, so that the compaction can be done 100% with a satisfactory maximum dry density. Okay, and here the initial compaction of this layer, which is compacted by the smooth wheel roller. Okay, so here you can see this is a smooth wheel roller. So this initial compaction, it can be done by using this smooth wheel roller. And the intermediate compaction, so that can be done by vibratory roller, or even we can use the pneumatic rollers. Okay, and for finishing compaction, we can use this tandem roller, so that the clear thickness, the clear surface of these layers can be achieved on top of the existing layers. Okay, and here the rollers shall not be allowed to stand on the pavement which has not been full compacted and temperature is more than 70 degrees Celsius. So if the bituminous mix temperature is more than 70 degrees Celsius, so that time the rollers has not been allowed to rest, or it has not allowed to be stay on those particular pavement layers, because of that heavy weight might be that what we can call the deformations what we can see on those layers, right? So to avoid that, we need to avoid the stopping those rollers on the bituminous mix which is having the temperature more than 70 degrees Celsius, and the wheel of the rollers shall be kept moist to prevent the adhesions. So since the binding material, that bitumen what we have used here, so it should not be attached to the that rolling rollers. So frequently we need to moist that surface such that no bitumen has to be stick on those rollers. And the rolling width start from the edge to center, that a line of pavement with both the directions. So this is the standard procedure for rolling. So always we need to start from the edge to center, so not from center to the remaining edge part. And here rolling shall be continued till the density achieved is at least 98 degree of maximum dry density. So here we need to stop the compaction when we reaches the 98% of the maximum dry density. Okay, so until that we need to keep rolling this equipment such that we should get minimum 98% of the dry density. And here the complete it is completed in all the respects before the temperature of mix falls below the 100 degrees Celsius. So obviously it will be 120 degrees Celsius to 160 degrees Celsius, right? So that time we need to start this rolling system. So we need to complete that entire compaction process by using the initial compaction, intermediate compaction and finishing compaction, right? So till it should reaches the 100 degrees Celsius. So within that we need to finish this all the types of the compaction system in the road by using the road rollers. Okay, and here the construction procedure, the continuation part. So when exactly we are going to open this one for traffic? So here traffic may be allowed after the completion of the final rolling which is done, so that is by the finishing compaction using the tandem roller. And here the dense bitumen macadam which is provided with a proper wearing course before opening to a normal traffic or rain. Okay, so after the compactions, the on top of this we need to go for the seal coat. So that is like a wearing course, and after providing that seal coat only we can expose that one for a traffic, I mean the normal people what they are going to use that road construction. Okay, so this is up to dense bituminous macadam. Thank you.